I've done cell phones on this platform for 6+ years, so have never had a problem like I have this week. So you guys don't get a thumbnail this time. Just want to make sure I can get this set up here. First of all, I wanted to give you guys an update, not only on my situation and our situation here in Washington, but I wanted to give you guys a huge update on what has been going on. If you are not somebody if you're somebody who tries to avoid the mainstream, and if you do get a bunch of it from us as far as your news, there was a massive kind of thing that happened today, and that was an emergency speech, an address by Putin today. So I wanted to briefly talk about that. It was very, very eerie as far as when it came on. He's telling his people essentially that the United States and NATO are completely involved right now, and that they are part of this, and he is garnering support essentially to get the people to kind of cheer, beyond just us being a proxy kind of supporter, us being the enemy. So again, I'll talk about that here in a second. But first of all, if you guys know, this is going to be the last night that I miss stuff. If you're saying, hey, you look disheveled, I do. If you're like, hey, isn't that the same shirt you wore yesterday? It is. If you haven't been watching the last week, we had a bomb cyclone. They said it was actually the equivalent of a Category 4 hurricane. I did not get the worst of it, but the area I live did get the worst of it in function of power. So we have this extended power outage. We actually just got power back about 4 hours ago. So I, again, wasn't able to prep a full show. But I have been on my phone. I've been keeping all my stuff charged and following all of this crazy stuff, and it is absolutely nuts. They don't want you to know about a lot of the folks that are being deployed right now. And my only guess is because they do not want you to know that this is about to get kicked up a notch. Now, most of you may think that in your own bubble, you're like, everybody should be knowing this. I will tell you this right now. If you're watching this channel, there is a 99.9% chance that almost every one of the videos that is being suggested to you, the articles and everything else that is being suggested to you, is telling you that there is war coming, that, this is coming, this is this and this and that. And you think, oh, everybody in the world knows about this. That is not the truth, and that's far from the truth. That is the algorithm pegging you out as somebody who is following this. But I will tell you this much. Many people are completely focused on every other thing except for this. They're focused on the division. They're focused on the politics, this versus that. There is a lot of people that think about, they're trying to do this or war, or if T-Man gets into office, he'll get us into war. If JB or Kamala was there, they would. That's all a political game that they're playing. And again, they're doing that because the more that we focus on each other and fighting with each other, the more that we are not focused on what is actually happening. All of these conflicts, which again, there's been a ton put out there right in front of everybody. All of these conflicts are funded by the same people. All of these conflicts and all of these countries that are participating right now, they are all answering and beholden to just a few companies that are making all of these weapons. Now, there's 5 major ones. I'm not going to mention all of their keywords because I guarantee you, the worse that this gets, they're going to start actually going and watching everybody that is talking about these certain companies. Now, you guys all know them. I'm not afraid to say them. Northrop Grumman, Boeing, General Dynamics, of course. All of these companies have something in common. They have a big investor, and it is way above. We talk about it all the time. It is that rock that is colored black. And essentially all of this that is happening right now, you want to think that this is one political side versus that side, and they're trying to do this because it's all about politics and it's all about petty stuff. This is so much bigger than that, and I know that most of you guys understand that. There are a few people coming out and saying it out loud, like RFK and others. But really, to wrap your head around what is happening right now, they are trying to start a physical war, a hot war, right before President Donald takes office. Now, I tried to tell people this. You guys tried to tell people this. You told your friends and family to prepare. And for the last week, I bet you that you had people telling you like, oh, see, everything's going to be okay. And once again, they ride the roller coaster. And then when it looks like it's going to be fine and there's no war, they'll go, see, I told you, you said that there was going to be a war. Remember, this is a long game. I have never told people a specific time. The only time I have said a specific time is recently. And I will say, I believed, and I've been saying this for the last year, between November 5th and January is when we are in the highest risk we have ever been in our entire lifetimes of getting into a hot war with another country. And I'm talking about us in the US. In Europe, you actually are at a higher risk. Right now, cables are being cut. The naval forces of all of our allies, including the Trilateral Alliance, are now moving around. They're now deploying military. How do I know this? Well, we have a ton of military members in our audience. You can ask. You can, of course, pop into the chat. You can even ask anybody here. You have a lot of military here because we always thank the military. We're pro-military. And again, over the years, everybody has, through word of mouth, kind of shared not only our channel, but all of our community of people's channels. A lot of military folks are prep-minded. Again, I'm not a master prepper. I'm not a foremost authority on prep, but I have always had the prepping mindset. Well, I shouldn't say I always have had the prepping mindset. I've always seen the patterns and had a unique thing. It's probably not the most useful talent, but I've always had a gut, a gut that could tell me when something was wrong, or a gut that could tell me that something was coming. Sorry, guys, I'm smelling a lot of gas. I've got my gas generator in the trunk, and it is killing me. I should have probably not closed the window. You could probably hear from the beginning to right now, my nose just got totally plugged. All right. And as far as with Putin, he just launched missiles that are unstoppable. He is literally, now they are confirming, and by tomorrow you're going to have all of these different sources say that this thing went, past Mach 10, and he is claiming that this thing is unstoppable. Realize what that means. And many people will go, oh, it's just another missile. They don't really understand why that's important. If you have a major missile that you can put different warheads or different things that can spread out and hit things, that might not seem like a big deal. Obviously any big weapon's a big deal. But if you can't stop it, that is a supremacy factor. That means that you have something, a weapon that no one can stop. That is a giant deal. And when you're looking at this next 2 months, maybe Vlad and Donald get along. Maybe Xi and Donald get along. Maybe all of them get along. But if you remember right now, there are certain countries and certain places that are not a part of NATO. And if they end up being in NATO, even if millions of people perish, I can guarantee you the board on some of these companies are going to be absolutely filthy rich. Just remember that your sons and daughters, my family's sons and daughters, the world's sons and daughters, when they go off to play, I guarantee you the people that are on certain boards that know what's going on, know about the deployments that are happening right now, that know about all of this, when their kids are looking at which school to go to, whether it's Stanford or Harvard or some other Ivy League school, they're telling them, oh, absolutely not. It is so important that you do not go to the military. You want to be the military, you're absolutely crazy. I guarantee you that they're not letting their kids join the military. And the reason why is because they know beforehand when this stuff happens. Wanted to see that here. Sorry about that, guys. That clicking is just insane. My car is falling apart. Somebody said something about what about the military? So what have our military people been doing with $1 trillion a year? Why don't we have superior weapons and defense systems? They're not doing with it. In fact, they have reduced in a lot of ways. They've given it away. They've basically run down our stockpiles to the fact, some of the quotes were, "We can see the floor." I mean, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty stupid. If you're just joining me, by the way, yes, I haven't showered I haven't had a hot shower in like 3 days. So I apologize for my look. We had a big storm, lost power, extended power outage, and we just got it back. So I will be showering tonight. As far as, $1 trillion and all this money that's going out the door, it's going somewhere, and it's an investment in something. And if you actually look at what is happening in Ukraine, there's a lot of crazy stuff happening. And now many people are afraid to say this, but when you loan a country that much money and you think that they're going to pay it back, you are smoking something. You're smoking some of that farmland. They have already done things to essentially take that land. Ukraine is literally beholden to the U.S. and NATO now. They're never going to pay back over $100 billion. They don't have the economy to do so, at least, spare money to do so, unless something crazy happens or they get turned into a tourist trap or something. So whatever is happening right now, whatever world war they're trying to start, just remember that the kids and the families of these extremely rich people that are on these boards, of these, the 5 major military contractors, those kids aren't going to war. It's our family members and everybody else, and we will fight for our freedom. But at the same time, this is going to be a war for somebody else. They could say, "Oh, these are banker wars." Now we have all these youth saying, "Oh, I won't join the military. I won't join some bankers' wars." Well, I see both viewpoints on that, but right now, what's really scary is that our military veterans, our military in general, is just being decimated. And do we go if you questionably think that there's a bankers war going on, or do you let our military fall apart so far that we literally just get taken over, or somebody walks in and takes us? I would rather we have a strong military and you possibly go and fight some stuff that you don't want to fight, or you try to fight the good fight, right? I know that's a crappy way to look at it, but it's getting really bad. With these missile systems that they're saying that now they're unstoppable, and they might not be more advanced than the US, the US probably has stuff that can do the same. But if you've got a country like Russia that has missiles that can't be stopped, that is a giant deal. They're doing mobile, nuclear bunkers, all this kind of stuff. It could all be rhetoric. But I'll tell you right now, the changes that are happening right before Donald takes place, almost everybody in Coruscant is now saying, "Oh, they're trying to get us into a war right before Donald takes office." That is exactly what's been predicted before he won, before all of this went down. And when he won, it was so easy. Everybody's high on hope. Within 24 hours, they said that they were going to drop the cases. Within 48 hours, everybody is coming out and saying, "We want peace." And, when Donald's in, everything in the world is going to be fixed. China's like, "Yeah, we want to work with you, bud." Russia's saying, we're open to a peace plan. Belarus is saying he should get the Nobel Peace Prize. All of these just high on hope stories are coming out. But people forgot. This isn't the left versus the right. This is the extremely, extremely just butthurt your head kind of money versus regular people. And they are doing things right now that will secure their wealth for the rest of their great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren's children. And we're busy fighting with each other about which subjects, this subject or that subject. If we literally united and we're all on the same page and said, "Hey, I don't care who you picked for the prez." If we all just said, "Hey, screw all that," and I know there's so many of you that will not do that. You just can't. The reason you won't do that is because of all of the nastiness that's happened in the last, 5 years. But that's literally what we have to do at this point. There's a lot more that I will try to update you guys on. As you guys know, I usually get up. I'm usually on X or tweeting by like 6 or 7 a.m. I'm usually doing my day job, and then I'm usually doing my show I tried to be on at 7 for a very long time. With my kids and all the stuff that's popped up, I have not been able to get on by 7. So I appreciate all of you guys being patient with me. I just want everybody to, I just want you guys to keep pushing your friends and family to prep, because I do believe that we are headed towards a precipice that I don't think we're going to be able to come back from. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think it's the beginning of a new one. I think it's the beginning of new rules. I think it's the beginning of new laws. And you guys all know that. I also think that you should be supporting your military that are right now getting shipped out wherever. And I do think that we should start getting along, even if we have differences in some of the bigger issues, and trying to start seeing like where we can find common ground. And I'm not talking about political issues. I'm talking about everything else. Say you disagree about, owning a weapon. Talk baseball then. I don't know what you have to do, but make some friends that are on the other side, and hopefully everybody will get unbrainwashed in the next couple years. Highly doubt it. This is all part of a way, way bigger system, and even saying that, people say, oh, they're one of those. But it's the truth. So, again, Monday we will be back with our regular shows. Saturday and Sunday I will try to update, especially with all this craziness going on. If you want to see that emergency address by Putin, all you have to do is go to my X account, @Marfoogle. Make sure to follow. I share obviously my opinion, but I also share important press conferences, things like that. I'm not too avid on there, but when I do share stuff, I try to make sure it's either funny or it's important. So, love you guys. Make sure to go check out our website, marfooglenews.com, and also go check out our affiliates, all of our affiliates, including the generators by Bug Out. We have a new affiliate that has actual solutions for whole houses. Go to marfooglenews.com/bugout. If you want to get yourself food, marfooglenews.com/prep. And if you want to get yourself, EMP protection, which I think is really important right now, marfooglenews.com/EMP. Thank you guys. Love you. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. And to answer somebody's question, this isn't a solar generator. Solar generator doesn't make any smells. I have my gas powered generator because the carbon canister, there was these like cheap brackets that were holding it on, and it shook and it vibrated off. It's a Mighty M. Never heard of it before I bought it, and it is I think they just like pasted on something on a Predator. If you've ever seen a Predator from Harbor Freight, that's what I think it is. But it was a 3,500 watt gas powered generator. It's not dual fuel or anything. It was a fix to the last generator I had, gas powered generator, and it sucked. Generators can be good. By the way, if you ever get a gas powered generators, we don't have an affiliate for one. I would highly recommend getting, Honda or some brand name, even if you have to save up extra time. All of the Harbor Freight generators that I've ever had have had issues. I actually didn't get the last one from Harbor Freight. Got it from a dealer. It was like a guy who had other ones, and it was a Iowa company. Not saying anything bad about the company, but their generators basically look like a Predator pasted with another name. But it helped. It got us through some of the thick, but it did have some problems. So along with all of our energy, we were able to charge our energy when we didn't have the most sun, and then we could keep our energy in different places in the house, and we were set up through the whole thing. One thing that I wish we had, though, is some whole system that we could put on our house and actually, have hot showers. Something with, something that could actually be hardwired into a house. I don't own a house, so I can't do that yet, but when I do get a house, I'm going to get a big generator. All right, you guys have a great night. Be safe, be prepared, and Marf out. I will see you guys over the weekend. Have a good one.